Two people are behind bars tonight after police say they robbed a Southwest Virginia convenience store this morning.
The 41-page, 71-count indictment claims residents lived in, as you said, unsanitary and unclean conditions. Fire and EMS were dispatched. Nobody was transported.
With the national controversy surrounding the Confederate flag, some folks in the Tri-Cities wanted to show their support for the flag.
Yeah, this used to be a dark stretch of roadway, and now, as you can see, it's illuminated with these lighted crosswalk signs.
It's been almost 3 weeks since 9 people were gunned down at a historically black church in Charleston, South Carolina.
And they say they'll probably have this stretch of highway closed for about 4 hours or so. If you can look behind me, Virginia State Police has been investigating this incident.
The county leaders are working with the school board to try and balance the district's budget. Last week, we told you about Johnson City's newest canine officer and the department's efforts to get him outfitted with a new protective vest. Tonight, the city council voted unanimously to give the rescue squad an additional $100,000 in funding. Dogs and cats in Sullivan County have a new place to stay until they find their forever homes. 19 years ago, the Umoja Festival began as a kind of block party in the Carver neighborhood.
Looked out front, flames shooting up.
Eileen Shelton lives across the street from the home that caught fire Wednesday night in the Unicoi County community of Earnestville.
It was definitely, never seen anything go up like that. You watched the sides fall, the deck fell off. It was just, there's a bunch of vehicles that's up there. You was hearing tires pop.
Unicoi County Sheriff Mike Hensley says fire crews were on scene within a matter of minutes, but that the house was already fully engulfed.
Where the residence was very hard to get water up to it. The trucks was not able to get up to the home, and we're able to pull hoses up the embankment to the house.
Hensley says luckily a passerby was able to help the two people out of the burning home.
He had actually got here and was able to get them out of the house. They did receive severe burns.
They were sent via helicopter to Johnson City Medical Center.
That was something I've never wanted to see, and I don't ever want to see it again.
Shelton says it'll be a hard time for the tight-knit group of folks who live along this stretch of Old Asheville Highway.
Good people, anybody that knows the Klaus family knows that they do anything they could for you. They give you the shirt right off their back if you needed it. And I just hope that in their time of need that people will be able to come out and help them.
A bad time of year. They're very good people, and they're in our prayers.
Aniseh, Hamour, News Channel 11 in your corner.
The Smith County Sheriff's Office says while the latest pictures were taken up to 3 days ago, they don't have any reason to believe Shook and Wilson have left the county, and they're working with surrounding sheriffs to track them down.
Focused in Smith County at this point. Probably headed toward the Washington County or the Wythe County line, and of course we'll be going back toward Washington County as well, and to Grayson County.
Chip Schuler with the Smith County Sheriff's Office says search teams are scouring the county for any sign of 14-year-old Haley Wilson and 41-year-old Benjamin Shook. Schuler says after dumping their truck in Grayson County, they probably hitched a ride over the county line. Investigators say they believe this is where the couple's trek through Smith County began. They told me they think the two got a ride into this area and were dropped off right across the street from the Raccoon Branch campground. The pair showed up in surveillance footage from a convenience store just a few miles down the road from that campground. Kim Horn lives in Sugar Grove and says this situation has her concerned.
I have a grandchild, and everybody I know has kids. I think it's a very dangerous situation.
Schuler says thanks to multiple tips, they've been able to narrow down their search.
This is our primary focus at this point. We want to get her back to her family safely.
He says they believe the two are on foot or trying to catch a ride.
Make sure they've got everything locked up. Keys out of the car, keep their doors locked. You know, don't make an opportunity for something bad to happen.
There's kids running around here everywhere because this is Sugar Grove. It's a small town. Everybody knows everybody, and really everybody usually feels safe.
Aniseh Hamour, News Channel 11 in your corner.
I just wanted to do something for my dad in honor of my grandfather, Cecil. And I just wanted everybody to know that he was home, that he was found.
With the help of Rolling Thunder, Cecil Harris was honored in a repatriation ceremony. Dozens of people, from members of the Mountain City community to Lieutenant Governor Ron Ramsey, came to pay their respects.
Our mission is to educate and publicize the MIA POW situation and to remember and honor all those that gave the ultimate sacrifice and to locate those that are still missing and to bring them home, to bring closure to their families.
Harris's granddaughter Christy Laws says her family never thought this day would come.
You know, you sit and wonder, is he still there? You know, was he by himself? Did he freeze to death? Did they just leave him? But now we have him home. You know, now we get to bury him in his final resting place, and then we get to have closure.
Laws says there are many things she wishes she could tell her grandfather.
And I love him. And thank you for what he did. And that I wish we could have known him.
Kay Nave with Rolling Thunder says Harris was just one of about 150 World War II soldiers still missing in action in Europe.
You should never forget the sacrifices that were made by these individuals, male and female. This young man was simply 19 years of age. A whole life ahead of him, gone just to protect us so that we can be here today.
Right here is where I had the kerosene heater set, and it was right here, and I was filling it up. And I had one of these boards under it that shouldn't cause a fire, but it did.
Billy Callahan's house in Chuckey caught fire in late November.
And I called 911 and told them my house was on fire. By the time they got here, it was too late.
Since then, she stayed with relatives in Greenville and Johnson City, but without reliable transportation.
I couldn't go stay down there and come all the way back and keep my animals fed and watered, and so I moved back up here.
Callahan chose to stay on the property to take care of her beloved pets. Her only option for shelter, this shed.
I've been living in here. Well, can't get the door open. But this is where I live right now, in my bed, in my potty, in my kitchen.
With no plumbing and limited electricity, Callahan keeps the space warm with a kerosene heater.
It's really cold. You can see your breath. I mean, after I get to bed, I get under the cover and I close down the windows, cover them up with blankets.
And she says frigid nights like we've had this week have been especially hard.
I mean, it's just as cold as ice. You usually freeze, but it's all I've got.
Callahan had no insurance and has reached out to various agencies for help rebuilding her home, but keeps hitting dead ends.
I don't want much. I mean, just a house.
Aniseh, Hamour, News Channel 11, in your corner.